Nike, the world's largest sportswear brand. A company that earns nearly 1,000 crore rupees every single day. World-class athletes, from Cristiano Ronaldo to Rafael Nadal, wear its products with pride. But would you believe? The man who built this empire was once a failed athlete himself? A young man who started his journey selling shoes from the trunk of his car. This is the story of Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. Early life. Phil Knight was born in 1938 in Portland, Oregon. From childhood, he was known for one thing: running fast. His dream? To become a great athlete. In school and college, he trained hard and won many races. But along with his love for running, Phil focused on his studies and completed his MBA in 1962. Yet deep inside, his heart still longed for athletics. But one morning, during practice, reality struck. After years of dedication, Phil had become one of the best runners in his state. But he couldn't make it to the national or international level. He was good, but not great. At 24, he accepted that his athletic career was over. His dream had failed, but his love for sports remained alive. Like every runner, Phil was deeply connected to his shoes. That connection sparked a new idea: the shoe business. He remembered a research paper he had written during his MBA, a detailed study about the running shoe market. In that research, he learned how Japanese camera companies had disrupted the US market with high quality and low prices. Phil believed Japanese shoes could do the same in America, compete with giants like Adidas and Puma. It was a bold, risky idea, but Phil had nothing to lose. He decided to import Tiger brand shoes from Japan and sell them in the United States. The first step. Using all his savings, Phil took a flight to Japan and met with Onitsuka, the company that made Tiger shoes. During the meeting, the executives asked him, "What company do you represent?" Phil didn't have one. But in that moment, he thought of the blue ribbons he'd won in races and said, "Blue Ribbon Sports." A company that didn't even exist yet. But the name impressed the executives. Phil presented his research, and by the end of the meeting, Onitsuka agreed to let his company sell Tiger shoes in the US. He sent them money for samples and returned home full of excitement. But months passed, and no shoes arrived. A year later, when he had nearly lost hope, a customs notice arrived. Finally, 12 pairs of Tiger shoes from Japan. Phil showed the shoes to his old coach, Bill Bowerman, and shared his idea. Bowerman loved the shoes, and to Phil's surprise, offered to become a 50-50 partner. For years, Bowerman had been obsessed with improving running shoes. He'd often take his athletes' shoes, cut them apart, modify them, and make them lighter and faster. Now the two joined hands. Blue Ribbon Sports was officially born. Phil ordered 300 shoes from Japan, costing $1,000. And this time, the shipment arrived on time. He stored them in his parents' basement, his first office. To sell them, he went from one sports shop to another, but everyone refused. So Phil tried something else. He filled his car trunk with shoes and drove to every athletic competition he could find, talking to coaches, runners, and spectators. And it worked. The shoes sold fast because Phil understood athletes' needs. Within 2 months, he sold out all 300 pairs and ordered 900 more. Business was growing, but cash was tight. Phil borrowed from the bank, reinvested every dollar, and kept pushing forward. Soon, Blue Ribbon had its first employee, Jeff Johnson, another passionate former athlete. With Jeff's help, sales doubled year after year. But growth brought debt. The bank refused further loans, and Blue Ribbon was on the verge of collapse. Phil took an accounting job at PwC and used his salary to keep the business alive. Meanwhile, Bowerman continued experimenting with designs. He combined features from different Tiger shoes to create a new model, the Cortez, built for American runners. It became an instant success. By 1971, sales hit $1.3 million. Phil quit his job and joined Blue Ribbon full-time. Everything was going perfectly, until disaster struck again. Betrayal and rebirth. Seeing Blue Ribbon's success, Onitsuka grew greedy. They demanded 51% ownership of Phil's company, or they'd end his distributorship. Phil was shocked. He refused to give in. Instead, he made the boldest decision of his life, to create his own brand. The era of Blue Ribbon was over. The era of Nike was about to begin. The birth of Nike. Phil wanted a logo that represented speed, motion, and victory. Something that would fit perfectly on a shoe. He hired a student designer, who created a curved check mark. Phil paid her just $35 for it. That logo became known as the swoosh. Suggestions like Falcon and Dimension 6 were rejected. Until Jeff Johnson, the first salesman, shared a dream he'd had. He said the name Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. The team loved it. And on May 30, 1971, Nike was officially launched. But no one knew the brand. Adidas, Puma, and Tiger still ruled the market. So Phil tried something revolutionary: athlete endorsements. He signed the world's best runner, Steve Prefontaine, for $5,000 a year. Nike became one of the first companies to use this strategy. They also hired athletes and sports enthusiasts as salespeople, people who understood their customers perfectly. Sales soared. By 1980, Nike had 2,700 employees and sales of $270 million, becoming America's #1 athletic brand. But soon a new rival appeared: Reebok. In the 1980s, fashion trends changed. People wanted not just performance, but style. Reebok gave them that, and Nike fell behind. For the first time, Nike suffered losses. They even had to lay off employees. Then came a turning point. Phil made a deal with a young, talented basketball player, Michael Jordan. Nike launched a new line of basketball sneakers called Air Jordan. These shoes were bold, colorful, and stylish, unlike anything seen before. Michael Jordan wore them in games, and Nike released iconic ads. Air Jordan, it's all in the imagination. The shoes became a global phenomenon. Nike sold $100 million worth of Air Jordans in the first year. Reebok was defeated. Nike was back. The legacy. Through the 1990s, Nike expanded worldwide, entering new markets, new sports, and new categories. Today, Nike stands as the largest sportswear brand in the world, valued at over 12 lakh crore rupees. Phil Knight's journey, from a failed athlete to the creator of a global empire, teaches one timeless lesson: execution. As Phil said in his book Shoe Dog, let everyone call your idea crazy. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't even think about stopping until you get there. And that's the same message behind Nike's legendary tagline: just do it.